Hi there, lovely, and welcome to Let's Chat. I'm Rhonda Crimes, and I'm a certified life and leadership coach and trainer for everyday women just like you who are tired of being people-pleasing good girls, or who I prefer to call super givers. I'm here to do all I can to guide and support these beautiful super givers in my community to be able to use their voice, make their stand, and live their life their way. If that sounds like something you'd like to know more about, keep listening and don't be shy to reach out and take advantage of my offers and invitations for one-to-one and group coaching, training and mentoring opportunities, where together we'll curiously explore what is most important for you to stand for, to compassionately encourage you to speak your truth and to courageously live your life aligned to your heart's desire, with confidence and without guilt. In this episode, let's chat about using your own Back to the Future wisdom. No, I'm not suggesting we need to find Doc and Marty, strap into the DeLorean and hit 88 miles per hour. Although, how much fun would that be? Imagine going back to right or wrong, or going forward to check in on any uneasy feelings that you've got about how something is going to turn out. But like we saw in the movies, it could get messy. And I'm not sure I want messier than I've already got. So what I'm going to chat about has less of the late 80s movie vibe to it and more of a visceral feel. Here are a few discoveries I've made when it comes to making progress toward living the life I truly want to live. I wonder if you share any of them too. Let me know in the comments. Discovery 1. I need to keep a certain degree of focus on the now across all areas of my life, not just the loudest or the one that is giving me the most joy or discomfort in this moment. It's too easy to get distracted in the daily grind, doing the mundane duties you feel obligated to do. Those external expectations others have placed upon you. And now somehow you have willingly taken them on as your own. Hello, super giver, I see you. What I have found beneficial is to dig a little deeper into the things that aren't sticking out like a sore thumb. Like, how am I feeling as I'm cooking the evening meal for the 356th time of the year? What's coming up as I feel into the now? Am I neutral to it? Or is there something not quite sitting right? If I'm neutral to it, I can just give it a tick, acknowledge that I've thought about it, and move on to something else. But if it's not sitting right, what is it? I know for me, cooking the evening meal every night can sometimes feel like a drudgery. All the thinking, planning, shopping, putting away, prepping and cooking. And then it's all gone in 10 minutes. And my reward? The dishes! And if I fall into the trap of focusing on just that one aspect of my life right now, it can become like a lead weight pulling me down. I can get resentful. I can get bitchy. And I can find myself living in the hood. Victimhood, that is. That is not how I want to live my life. So I know I need to bring it into perspective. That is but one tiny activity in the grand journey of my life. And when I look at the other areas of my life in the now, it will become less arduous. The laser focus shifts as I move on to another life area and do the same check-in. I find it useful to have a list to go through just to make sure I'm not forgetting any of them. So I've identified 8 major life areas and 8 minor aspects in each that pretty much sum it up for me. Or they serve to feed my natural curiosity to be able to go down a new track. This is some of my list. Me. This includes aspects like my body image, my needs, and my significance. The next one is relationships. Aspects like my significant other, children, pets, extended family, friends, and my tribe. Health and well-being. This is about my emotional well-being, physical fitness, spiritual practices, healing, leisure, sports, travel, and fun. Then there's the personal growth area. This covers my dreams and intentions, learning, self-esteem, resilience, creativity, critical awareness, and my autonomy. The next area is occupation or vocation. This is about my job, career, or profession, my business, my entrepreneurial endeavors, any studies, sidelines, hobbies, callings, and responsibilities. My physical environment awareness area is about how connected my awareness is to the environment I'm experiencing. You know, like with my family, in my home, in my community, and globally. My finances or wealth area. This covers my standard of living, my budgeting, savings, emergency funds, investing, you know, debt reduction, retirement, and civic contribution. And then my life planning and management area. This is about my time and energy management, my life transitions, monitoring the other areas of my life, my security, and my life vision. And when I go through this list and check in how I'm sitting right now, I get a good sense for what needs tweaking or changing, and what I can be proud of quickly and easily. Discovery 2. I need to keep reminding myself of how much I can get done in any given time frame. There's a famous truism that really resonates with me. People overestimate what can be done in 1 year and underestimate what can be done in 10. It's attributed to a computer scientist, J.C.R. Licklider, from 1965. And this still feels so real. Often, because when we think of what we want to do, we're thinking in terms of a complete project, not the many tiny actions it takes to complete the project. I know when I fall into that trap, it can lead to feeling overwhelmed, just thinking about all the things that have to be done, changed, or tweaked before I can live the life I want to live. And to compound that, it's like somewhere in my brain, I'm also saying that I have to get it all changed, tweaked, done, and dusted by the end of next week. There's this kind of unconscious busyness that comes to the surface that I've been taught to revere, to embrace as valuable. When did this badge of busyness become the gold standard? When did saying, I'm crazy busy, become a badge of honor? Being crazy busy is a martyr's playground, and martyrdom is not a great place to live either. It's like the suburb across from victimhood. Okay to drive through, but your deaths don't want to live there. The reality for me is that I've come to recognize that some of the stuff will require weeks, months, or even years to bring to fruition. And that can challenge the busy addiction that we've all been taught to believe is the norm. What I know to be true for me, though, is when I chunk the project down into what are the next actionable steps, I find I can work through things at a breakneck pace without becoming the mayor of martyrdom. It's like when I've spent some time working out what it's going to take, I know where to draw the resources from. I just get an intuitive knowing which of my 5 wells of energetic, physical, emotional, spiritual, and intellectual strength are going to need to be readily available to me. What it's going to take to keep them replenished, to fuel the personal achievement I'm seeking. I become instinctively aware which of those wells are going to need closer attention, so that what needs to happen doesn't send me into overwhelm or deplete my 5 wells so much that they run dry. And I do this by tuning into how I've managed my projects in the past. So I go back in time to recall that. And then I bring those lessons forward to guide me on this section of the journey. Discovery 3. I need to keep the channels open to my inner knowing and intuition that I know reside inside me. All too often, we get so caught up in the daily grind, we stop listening to that wise voice inside us. Or it gets drowned out by that bossy little fear-based soul inside us that I call the inner critic. When I feel that start to happen, that's when I take a trip back to the future. I take a moment to quiet my logic brain and allow my unconscious to take over. I allow my unconscious self to travel forward in time to when I just kind of know it's all been sorted. And as I'm there, I look back over the time that's elapsed to look and see and feel back into that time frame. And I see how much I have achieved. I relive the amazing experiences I've already had. I know what I did accomplish, what I've attained in that time. And from that place in the future, as I look back, I grab a pen and journal or write some notes to my former self. I know this may sound a bit Doc and Marty Back to the Future or woo-woo and wacky, but if you can just set that judgment aside for now, I am so confident if you were also to give it a go, you will uncover some amazing deep truths. Unleashing your intuition and inner wisdom will reveal the true magic for you. Sometimes we become so caught up in the day-to-day that we often suppress our intuition and inner wisdom, or we misinterpret it. Fear and excitement can feel very similar physiologically, but the outcome is so very different. Do you know what I mean? So, my lovely, I invite you to also use your own Back to the Future wisdom to guide and inform how to live the life you do want to live. Whether that is looking at what it's like in the now and bringing it into perspective with all the other aspects of your life, or going back in time to look at how you managed things in the past and bring those lessons forward to support you. Or maybe jumping into your own unconscious DeLorean and going back to the future to see how it turned out. Finding out what you need to put in order from that place of being there and done that. I truly hope you enjoyed this episode of Let's Chat about using your own Back to the Future wisdom. If you're keen to learn more about this and maybe take your unconscious DeLorean for a spin, I'd love to support you. I've opened the doors to the Truly My Year, My Way Club, where we get to do all 3 of these trips many times over in the coming year. Check out the link in the notes to learn more. Thanks for being here right to the very end of the episode. I hope there were just enough ahas or oh no's to be of value for you. I truly enjoyed chatting with you, and if you did too, can I ask that you share it with friends who would benefit or be interested as well? Also, for more brownie points, could I ask you to leave a comment, either reviewing it, asking for more info, or letting me know you've got other questions or topics you'd like me to cover off? Much love. Till next time.